The House Oversight Committee room buzzes with a rare kind of electricity, tense, charged, and thick with anticipation. Marble pillars loom over a long semicircular table where representatives sit, murmuring and flipping through papers. Cameras from every major network are stationed throughout the chamber. C-SPAN is live, so is CNN, MSNBC, even Newsmax. At the witness table, former President Donald Trump sits flanked by lawyers, adjusting his red tie with visible irritation. His face is a blend of defiance and boredom, but beneath the surface, there's a twitch, his eyes scanning the room like a hunted animal pretending to be king. He knows this isn't just another political hearing. This one feels different. Enter Representative Jasmine Crockett, her signature black-framed glasses perched perfectly, her composure unshaken. Dressed in a sharp navy blazer, she projects authority with every measured step she takes toward the mic. She begins, voice calm but cutting. Mr. Trump, thank you for being here today. You are under oath, and I will remind you that any false statement you make is subject to penalty of perjury. Trump leans back, smirking. Oh, I know the drill. I've been through more hearings than you've been through outfits, Congresswoman. A few Republican members chuckle. Crockett doesn't blink. Well then, she says, flipping through a manila folder, let's get to something you may have forgotten in all those hearings. Did you or did you not instruct your aides to remove or conceal government documents from Mar-a-Lago after receiving a formal request from the National Archives? Trump's smile fades slightly. That's a fake question, he scoffs. Totally fake. Witch hunt. This whole thing. You're wasting everyone's time. She nods, unfazed. Okay. Then let's talk about what isn't fake. She pulls out a document and holds it up for the room to see. The gallery leans in. The camera zooms. This is a corporate registration pulled from the Cayman Islands, publicly available. A shell company formed in 2013. Now, what's interesting isn't just the transactions it processed after your presidency ended, it's the name listed as founder, David Dennison. Trump's head tilts. A flicker of recognition flashes in his eyes, followed quickly by a scowl. You familiar with that name? Crockett asks. Because according to several court documents, including a sealed NDA from 2016 that's recently been unsealed, you've used that name before. For business, legal settlements, and payments to, shall we say, sensitive recipients. The room goes deathly quiet. No one breathes. Even the conservative reps are still. Trump shakes his head, his voice louder now. No idea what you're talking about. Fake. You people make things up out of thin air. Crockett cuts in, still cool as ice. Your name is on the registration, sir. Alongside an offshore bank account that processed six-figure transactions from foreign entities after your term ended. You can say, fake, all you want, but this, she waves the document, is real. And under oath, you're going to have to answer for it. From the press box, cameras snap like popcorn. Reporters furiously type. The YouTube livestream chat explodes with all caps reactions and disbelief. Trump fidgets, looking toward his lawyers, who whisper quickly among themselves. One of them hands him a note. He squints at it, then tosses it back in frustration. Behind Crockett, a few members of her party try to suppress their grins. They've seen her dismantle witnesses before, but this is a dismantling with stakes. Crockett leans back into her mic. We can go all day, Mr. Trump. But for the record, your smirk won't stop the facts. And today, the American people are watching. The camera pans to Trump's face. The smirk is gone. The camera cuts to a flurry of newsrooms across the country. On Fox News, the familiar red and blue set glows behind the host as they break into special coverage. Former President Donald Trump is calling in live following today's explosive congressional hearing, the anchor announces with a slightly strained smile. The screen splits to a graphic that reads, "Breaking, Trump reacts to Crockett bombshell." Trump's voice blares through the phone line, louder than usual. He's agitated. Jasmine Crockett is a disgrace. That hearing today, total ambush. I was treated worse than a criminal. They let her go on with that garbage. She starts throwing out fake names. David Dennison. Never heard of him. Never used it. It's a setup. The host clears his throat. Well, sir, there have been public documents in the past tying that alias to a non-disclosure agreement during. Fake. Lies. Total lies. Trump interrupts, voice rising in pitch. That document was never supposed to be public. This is all coordinated. She had it ready. That was a trap. That woman should be investigated. She should be locked up. Meanwhile, over on MSNBC, it's a very different scene. Jasmine Crockett sits across from the anchor, calm and composed, lips curled in a satisfied half-smile. She pulls a printed form from a folder and lifts it to the camera. This, she says, tapping the page with her manicured nail, is the corporate registration for a Cayman Islands shell company, yes, real. Registered to one, David Dennison. Now, I'll let the public decide whether it's just a coincidence that that alias appears in documents linked to Mr. Trump during a 2016 legal settlement. The anchor leans forward. So you're saying under oath he lied? I'm saying, Crockett replies, he lied the moment he said he didn't know who David Dennison was. His lawyers used the name themselves in a case that was sealed until very recently. I brought the facts. He brought a tantrum. CNN's screen flashes with real-time polling from viewers, approval of Crockett's performance spikes. Social media feeds light up with clips of Trump's unhinged call and Crockett's poised fact checks. Even the Fox News host looks slightly rattled as Trump continues ranting in the background. You people are all in on it. Deep state nonsense. Witch Hunt Part 2. She shouldn't be in Congress, she should be in jail. Back on MSNBC, Crockett smiles into the camera. That, she says, with a shrug, is what accountability sounds like to a man who's never had to answer for anything. Until now. The broadcast cuts to commercial. But the storm is just beginning. Within minutes of Jasmine Crockett's segment airing, social media platforms ignite like dry leaves to a spark. Twitter, or X as it's now branded, becomes a battleground. Clips of her calmly lifting the document on live TV are clipped, remixed, and captioned with phrases like, "She ate that man alive on air," and, "Not Jasmine dragging him with receipts." The hashtag David Dennison rockets to the top of trending topics in under an hour, followed closely by hashtag Crockett clapback, hashtag Trump tantrum, and hashtag not fake now. Memes flood in, one side-by-side photo of Crockett holding the document and Trump mid-yell on Fox is captioned, "She brought files. He brought feelings." On TikTok, a 17-year-old content creator with 2 million followers posts a dramatic reenactment of the hearing set to Beethoven's Ode to Joy, complete with a green screen of Crockett's actual footage. The audio clip of her saying, "Let's talk about what isn't fake," is already being remixed into beats, used in dance trends, and stitched with reaction videos of people gasping and shouting at their screens. Influencers, comedians, political commentators, and random users alike flood the platforms. A Gen Z political streamer on Twitch interrupts his usual gaming stream to do a reaction video, pausing the moment Crockett says, "David Dennison," and shouting, "Bro." She said his alias out loud. He just took psychic damage live on camera. On Instagram, a digital artist uploads a stylized comic panel of Crockett depicted as a superhero, cape, heels, document in hand, with Trump melting in the background like a wax statue. The caption, "Receipts woman versus the gaslighter-in-chief." But the real shockwave comes from Maya Lin, a well-known investigative journalist with a reputation for ironclad sourcing. She posts a tweet with a screen capture of a court-sealed document that appears newly unsealed. The document contains language linking Trump to David Dennison, in a 2016 NDA settlement related to a scandal the public had all but forgotten, until now. Mayaline reports. Breaking. Verified, Trump did use the alias, David Dennison, in multiple legal filings. Jasmine Crockett didn't make up a name, she read from a paper trail. The tweet racks up hundreds of thousands of likes and retweets in hours. Journalists across the spectrum begin cross-referencing the document. Late-night news crews pivot their coverage. On Reddit, amateur sleuths are dissecting the shell company's link to the alias, some tracing back even further than anticipated. Podcasts begin planning emergency tapings. Instagram Live explodes with political influencers dissecting the revelation. One viral live feed is just a woman screaming, "She called him out by his alias, y'all," for 10 straight seconds while pouring wine. As day turns into night, no one can scroll through a feed without seeing Jasmine Crockett's face. Her following surges into the millions. Verified accounts, celebrities, legal scholars, even rival politicians, start quoting her line word for word. Let's talk about what isn't fake. It's no longer a comeback. It's a movement. The skyline of Manhattan glows against the night as thunderclouds gather above Trump Tower. Inside the top floors, lights are still on well past midnight. Aides pace back and forth. Cell phones buzz nonstop. Televisions in 3 rooms blast different channels, CNN looping Crockett's hearing moment, MSNBC airing expert legal analysis, and Fox playing Trump's phone meltdown from earlier in the day. Trump storms into the room wearing a robe over a golf polo, waving his phone in the air like a weapon. "She ambushed me," he yells, eyes bloodshot. "I want her investigated. I want every damn document she had. Who leaked those?" His lead advisor, eyes sunken with exhaustion, tries to respond calmly. "Sir, it wasn't a leak. That document was just unsealed by a federal judge last week. Crockett's team probably pulled it legally." "I don't care." Trump interrupts. "I should have been warned. You let me walk into that hearing unarmed while she had a nuclear briefcase in her purse." He turns to another aide. "Why didn't you vet her? Isn't that your job?" The aide stammers, "We underestimated her. She was a freshman member, most people thought she'd lay low. She humiliated me," Trump growls. "And now I've got TikTok kids calling me David freakin' Dennison." In a corner, someone's phone buzzes with a headline from Politico. Legal experts confirm. Alias, David Dennison, authenticated in Trump's past NDA cases. Another chime. Crockett's statement may spur renewed House investigation into Trump financials. Panic sets in. One aide quietly gathers their bag and leaves without saying goodbye. Another slips into an adjacent office, then sends a resignation email from their personal phone. Trump slumps into a leather chair and clicks on the remote. He flips through channels, his name is everywhere. There's a late-night panel comparing Crockett's moment to the infamous McCarthy hearing takedown, labeling her the new face of congressional reckoning. The chyron reads, "Trump alias confirmed, what else has been hidden?" Trump points at the screen. "Get me a new team. Fire whoever needs to be fired. I want a press release in 20 minutes. At 3:12 a.m., Trump's team releases a hastily written statement online. President Trump stands by his truth. These allegations are recycled lies from partisan enemies. Any documents used today were obtained illegally and are being reviewed by legal counsel. But it's too little, too late. The damage is done. Newsrooms dig deeper. Congressional Democrats issue a call to reopen the ethics probe. Crockett, back in her apartment, posts a single photo to her Instagram, a close-up of the document with a caption that simply reads, "Let's talk about what isn't fake." It gets 1.6 million likes overnight. By morning, the narrative has shifted. Trump isn't leading the headlines anymore, he's drowning in them. And Jasmine Crockett, she's a household name.